Hello once again. This is William, and I'm here to talk about Test 3 of the Mercury Laboratories, which personally was my favorite test of all 6 of them. The biggest reason being that it was the most fun to shoot. I had the most amount of people involved. We were all friends. In fact, we were all from the same dormitory building, and it was overall just a lot of fun to record and run the course that day. There was a lot of banter between people, both on and off the course, friendly. People were giving each other encouragement, and there was some real enthusiasm. We had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. It's probably one of the most fun things I was able to organize amongst friends. We started recording this. I remember it was May 1st, 2008. I believe. Yeah, 2008. Which was the first day of our study period of our spring semester. And then the next day after this, we went to go see Iron Man, which is pretty good. Anyway, we started recording this around, I want to say 11 a.m., somewhere between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. And then we ended around 6 o'clock somewhere. I don't have any definite times because the time logs are all messed up for recording dates of the raw files. But yeah, it was a long day, and I was the only one who didn't get to eat during that entire time. Most people were able to take a lunch break, or yeah, lunch break. However, because someone had to actually stay and watch the stuff, and it was my course, I stayed and watched, and everyone ate, and I was hungry. In hindsight, I probably should have asked someone to bring me some food. Oh well. Anyway, as for the course, I just want to get something out of the way. Yes, I am fully aware that 2 minutes was way too much time to give people for the first stage. What happened was that the time limit was originally supposed to be 1:30, which really would not have made a difference. The same number of people would have passed stage 1, because that's how much everyone had more than 30 seconds left on the clock. The reason I increased the time to 2 minutes was mostly as a last-minute decision, because I felt like the course might have been too hard for some people, and I wanted to make it easier, because I didn't want a bunch of people eliminated in the first stage. You know, I'm not an actual Japanese game show. I don't have 100 people to run the course. We only had 10 people, 11 actually. You only see 10 because, like the bonus video of Stage 3 Explained, one of our test subjects, or one of the people, had to leave, and he passed the first stage, so I couldn't keep him in the continuity videos. As for 8.0 here, he wanted to be number 8, but the problem is we already have a number 8, so I allowed him to be called 8.0, which, his decision, gave him what he wanted. Whatever. Anyway, as for the course itself, I really wanted to make a course that was different from Test 2. Especially since Test 2 really didn't have that much difference from Test 1, because it was pretty much it was almost exactly the same thing. As for this stage, I came with the idea of reversing the order, which could cause a lot of differences. Actually, it could create some differences in how you approach an obstacle. Of course, all that would be true if this was an actual professional-made obstacle course, which that was a lot harder than this. But it starts with a different first obstacle. There's a few new things. The occlusion of the number cruncher EXQ and EXA was based on an idea, was inspired by Super Viking, which, if you haven't seen, is a Korean version of the Japanese game show Viking, where these celebrities take on an indoor course, and at one point they are given two numbers, and at a later point they have to add them together and give the answer. And so I thought that was a really good idea, so I drew inspiration from that and did that. Yeah, so with that, it's just an idea of, instead of having to answer on the spot, you got to remember the answer as you're doing other physical things, and I think it actually adds a real bit of challenge to the math question. Also, the other big change to the first stage is the rope climb, which there was a. Honestly, I actually almost didn't have a rope climb at the very end. I was going to have a rope nonetheless, but what I almost did, and it was literally this was literally decided at the last minute. I was going to have the rope set up in a way so that there was a loop at one end, so you had to put your foot in it, and the rope was around a tree branch, and you had to pull yourself up. And that just didn't work very well. It also, in hindsight, at least for where the tree was located and everything, it wouldn't been a good idea. So, and this was also, I was also afraid of doing a rope climb because, once again, I didn't want it to be too hard for people. But everyone agreed, basically, to go for a standard rope climb, despite the fact that some people might have difficulty. Working together, we were able to get it tied up in that tree, and we also used duct tape to get the. I like that move when he does that. We also used duct tape to keep the button up, which, man, that was annoying. That was beyond annoying, and we had a lot of problems with that button. And as you saw right there, that was the reason. The button was very prone to be torn off. It could be easily turned off, and it was actually quite annoying. Because we have to get someone back up there, get it back up, or sometimes we have to get someone really tall to kind of jump up there and stick it back on. It was a lot of hassle, and really wish I had thought of a better way at the time. Test subject number 3. I really like what how he improved on himself. As for the display for the questions, this was used in all future tests where you have to answer the questions in two different spots. Answer the question in a different spot than the question. I basically made it so that there was a bunch of layers of paper on a cardboard palette, but there were tabs so that you can rip it off. But it was also like taped at the bottom in certain spots, so it was more sturdy, so the wind wouldn't flop the whole thing around. Like if it was just a pad of paper, if the wind thing blew, the whole thing would have gone up. But with the way I did it, it was still secure at the bottom as well, and they were just the tab system allowed you to rip off more and more pages, which was very, very handy and very useful, and I'm glad I came with that idea. The course itself for stage 1 in this case, I really think was a sign of me improving as a course designer. And it also later showed some problems that I had with older designs, as we will see in the next part of this stage.